World War III. People have talked about a possible World War III for decades. It almost started in the 1960s during the Cold War between Russia and the United States, but thankfully we managed to avoid that. But let's say we aren't lucky enough to avoid it next time. When might World War III happen? Well, it's tough to say. A world war could start due to prominent political figures getting killed, intelligence threats, or fighting over valuable resources. Talking about it like this makes the chances of a war happening sound likely, but the chances are actually a lot lower than you think. Since 1945, the world has seen many different battles. Vietnam, Afghanistan, and dozens of different civil wars. We should keep in mind that in order for a world war to happen, it needs to involve the entire world. And the structure of the world has changed even more since 1945. Countries simply aren't as closely allied as they used to be. Militaries are even stronger and more skilled than they were. As in previous world wars, it's most likely that millions of people would die. And the Earth would take decades, if not centuries, to recover. Especially with some of the weapons and tools countries would be using in today's age. Soldiers on the ground might have exoskeletons. These are metal frames around the soldier's body that augment their strength. Although this probably won't turn them into RoboCop, it would make it easier for soldiers to carry heavy equipment over long distances. Weapons that can bend around corners might also be a possibility. And instead of seeing the war fought in the sea or the sky, it could actually be fought in space. Militaries could fight over weaponized satellites that could affect what's below them. Although a lot of this stuff sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, we should keep in mind that these weapons are scary, and hopefully no one will ever need to use them. After all, things like this are meant to kill people. But there may not be many soldiers on the ground. The war of the future might be fought on computers. Drones, artificial intelligence, and robots could be the only things on the battlefield. There's also a chance that acts of war in the future might not involve any violence at all. Hacking into other countries' computers, as well as power grid shutdowns, are all a possibility. And what would this war be about anyway? It could have to do with resources, specifically water. Since fresh water is such a scarce yet valuable resource,